Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Kerbal's Space Program. So, straight up front, I forgot to film this episode with a microphone, so I am recording this after the fact. Um, I sure hope it's working. I should probably double check. Right now, quickly, just gonna slide this window up, take a look. Yeah, it seems to be recording. Okay, so you can see I have more science. Um, I got that science. I got it by orbiting uh, Kerbin on a polar orbit, and I kept on going around and doing EVA reports over the different biomes. And Science Alert was letting me know about that, so that was perfect. Uh, Oh yes, and then right here, this is what I'm talking. So I was talking the whole time I was recording this. I just forgot to turn on my mic. Right there, I was talking about how I went and did visual surveys as well of Kerbin to get a little bit of money. I was on kind of the other side of the world, and now we want to expand our science. Um, it'd be nice to finish off that tier. It'd also be really nice to get these fuel systems because being able to funnel your fuel from one tank to another is really handy. You can do asparagus staging with that. Asparagus staging is awesome. It's not too hard to explain, but it'll be easier to explain when I'm just building it for the first time. So we'll wait for that. Fun stuff, really efficient. And then electronics is really good because we would get the solar panel and then the barometer, of course. That's going to give us more science, and being able to do more experiments, more science is great, fantastic, important even. So right now, we're trying to figure out what we can do to get some science and rep. See if there's any contracts that meet up with that. Rescuing someone from orbit's good because they join your space program after. So that's really handy. It's a little bit of work, but it's worth it. That one's really easy, especially when you have satellites in orbit, which we don't yet. But it's still pretty easy. Wish I could remember what I was talking about here. I was doing lots of talking though. I was talkative. I was pretty upset that it didn't record. It's kind of a shame. And now I have to sit here and do it again for another half hour. Not a huge deal. Could be recording a new episode right now, and instead here I am, hardcore editing it. Okay. So, right now, we're going to load up our... Oh yeah, this is what I used to orbit earlier. You can see I've got the small inline reaction wheel in there now, helping control things. It's the right size for our rocket. I'm pointed on it right now. So we're gonna add some fuel to this. Oh no, we're gonna add a stage to this yet. Sorry. Because we want to go higher than orbit. We want to go to the moon. We want to do a flyby of the moon. And collect the science that we can. And then come home. And go, yummy, 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 science. And then I'm adding some more fuel to our second stage. To our main stage, technically. I should be replacing the engine. I'm not sure if I did yet. We want the Reliant at the bottom, not the swivel. Ah, yes. First, we need to do some strutting. And we can go higher than that. So we will. That locks in your rocket nicely. Things don't wobble. Space tape struts are a best friend in this game. They really are. Side of the goo canisters. And then we're going to want to do one more set on the control surfaces on the fins at the bottom. But we want to make sure we do it not 2 times symmetry. Come on, Dean. Not 2 times symmetry. Fail. There we go. 4 times symmetry. And there we go. All locked in. Just how we like it. We forgot to change that bottom engine. It's too bad. I think what we'll have to do, I think we end up coming back and doing it. Oh yes, we're gonna add some control surfaces to the, or fins rather, to the, well, fins do have control surfaces on them. To that second stage there, or second to last stage, rather. Second to last stage with fuel. Just to give us a little bit of control and aerodynamics. We'll call this Moon Range Survey. Acceptable spell survey, right? Because what the hell are we thinking? Let's put that in there. Jeez. Alrighty, and our staging's incorrect, so let's go back and fix that. Okay, so this is supposed to be up here. Yeah, that's not right, so new stage here. Those are fine, so we need to move that to like there and that one there. And then we're good. Okay. Oh yeah. Let's change that. There we go. Just put that in the right stage now. There we go. And yeah, if we're gonna make a trip to the moon, we don't want to run out of power because that's a long trip, and you're gonna need electricity on a long journey like that. So we kind of overdo it on the power. Until you get solar panels, I guess that's kind of what you have to do. If you want to get home on your own steam. Valentina in there because she could use the experience. I like to spread my experience out between my two min pilots. Val and Jeb. Alright, SAS on. Full throttle. Let's do this. Right, so far so good. Start sliding ourselves over to the 45, but because we're a little late on our turn, we're going to try and actually bring ourselves to more like the 35 to 40 area. And there's a science alert telling me, hey, do an EVA report, because that's going to go well. Stupid. What would you want me to do? How can I do an EVA report from here? At what point can I ever do an EVA report at 20,000 feet? I can't think of a situation where that would be advisable. It'd be different if I got out attached to the vehicle. But most of the time you get out and you're not attached to the vehicle. It's like you let go for some stupid reason. So this stage did as well. Hard push up into the atmosphere, gives us lots of speed. And then we lose all that weight. Get into our next stage, which has the swivel. And it's got really good control now. Which we already had, but way more now. At some point I am going to try and kind of fix my orbit so that I'm more in line with the moon, because I'm a little bit off right now. And there you can see it's starting to fix itself. Up a little bit, be a little bit more equatorial. And then yeah, we'll add a maneuver at the apoapsis, because that's where you're going to spend the least amount of fuel. And there we go. That's all we need to get to the moon. Okay, so it's a 28-second burn. Don't think we have the fuel for it, so we're going to have to start a little early on our burn. That's okay. And we're in space. I love that music. It's so calming, so relaxing. Okay, hard burn. gonna get. And only 30 seconds, so that's good. So we're just gonna kill that and finish our burn. And when we get a proper orbit, that'll be the end of our burn. Because that's what we're looking for anyways. We don't care about the maneuver at this point. We already know the maneuver. We're doing it. And there we go. Stable orbit, and that's going to get us to the moon. So now, set that as our target. The first thing we should do is try and match our plane to perfectly match the moon. So right now we're off by 0.9. Just not much. It's practically the same. Very similar. But we can do better. We can do perfect. We can get to NAN. That's not a number. We don't do it this time. We get it to 0.0, which is just as good. It's not just as good, but for the purposes of what we're doing in this game, it's just as good. See how it flipped there? There you go. Right sideways, that's when you're as even as you're going to get. Just like an orbit. 0.0. That's all we're going to get. It's good enough for now. We can fix it at the 0.0 again, and that would give us our NAN. We don't need to. Okay. Time warp. Just doing it manually using the comma and period keys, or greater than, less than keys. Arrow down, time goes slower. Arrow forward, time goes faster. You see arrow backwards, time goes stop or back, slowed down, back to just regular. Yeah, talking like an idiot right now. Just stop. Okay? Alright. Right, so, to get to the moon, the way they do it in real life is, like what you do in this game is you set yourself up so the moon's at 3 o'clock, and then you make your maneuver at the bottom of your orbit, give or take, and that's going to send you to the moon. The way they do it in real life is they start their burn as they can see moon coming over the horizon around the planet when they're in orbit around the planet. That's when they would start their burn to the moon. So that's essentially what we're doing. It's just as we come around the corner, that's when we're going to be starting our burn. Now I like to come on the inside, because if you land on the inside, you get pulled into the orbit of the same rotation as you're in right now. If you get pulled into a different orbit, you're going the other way. It's just, I find it wastes delta V. You're pushing yourself out farther to get out into that orbit. If you push yourself into this type of orbit, you're using less of a maneuver. You're using less delta V. Using less fuel. So what I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to get it so that we've got a flyby of the moon, but then we're going to be releasing back into an orbit of Kerbal, but in such a way that it's almost going to bring us straight back to Kerbal. It's a really efficient burn and maneuver. Okay, so we're gonna split the time. It's a 1 minute burn. We're gonna start burning at 30 seconds. And go. Give her liver and chicken a butt. Okay, we're almost done our burn. Got lots of fuel left, that's good. Lots of fuel for our purposes, that is. 10 seconds. And again, we're going to get rid of this maneuver here at the end and just feather it in. Because we don't need the maneuver anymore. And that's as feathered in as we need it. Don't even need to feather. Because we did a perfect burn into the end of the maneuver. Perfect-ish. I'm sure Scott Manley could do better. Okay, this is us gathering science from space around Kerbal. Boom. Thanks for 20 grand. As I was flying past. The only thing is we used a little bit of electric charge there, and the engine we're using right now in this stage, the Terrier, it's really efficient in the vacuum of space, but it doesn't give you an electric charge. Oh, look at all this science. Yeah, no, we're going to need to collect all of that, because, yeah. Got to. It's free science, man. Report. Yeah, might as well send it, I guess. Even though we should be saving our electric charge. But, whatever. Oh, that science we just got. And that was just like on the way to the moon. So we're not even going to get the material study when we go past, but whatever. So if you were doing this, trying to copy this mission, and you'd never been here before, you could definitely consider bringing 2 science juniors. But again, that does add weight. A lot of times in this game, smaller is better, easier. Extra science. Again, it's too bad we can't do the material study, but whatever, we're still getting tons of science here. Excellent. Oh, this is fantastic. Okay, so now we're going to leave sphere of influence of the moon and get back to Kerbal. Just want to get into that orbit. There we go. Okay, now we're gonna look at our periapsis. See where we're sitting. And wow, that's exactly where we want to be. 20, 20 kilometers, or 20,000 meters, is our target. So we don't need to do anything. So we're just going to time accelerate a little bit. And then something happens, and for some reason Moon gets our influence again for a second. And then we go back to this orbit, and then it's a little bit different, and we're gonna have to fix it just a touch. It changed. There you go. Stop. We're still high up, way near the apoapsis, so this is still gonna be a super efficient, tiny burn. Point retrograde, and just feather it. Done. We're home. And now we'll warp here. We'll see what it... Make sure it's still all good before we ditch this last stage. Okay, and now, as we come pretty close to entering the atmosphere, we'll actually start to burn retrograde, just to kill our velocity, just to use up this fuel, because whatever, it's a loss anyways. Sip of water. Speed up time a little bit, and there we go. Oh, EVA report. Yeah, why don't I just jump out of my spaceship? I don't think so. I don't think so. So this is where we're just going to burn off the rest of our fuel and try and kill off our velocity. Go, ditch that stage. Can't see anything because it's in the dark. I can't see anything either because I'm looking at the recording, not the actual game. So, right now, as we insert ourselves into the atmosphere, the blade here is gonna have to start doing its job. Needs to protect all of the precious science that we've gathered on this vessel. The thing about this game is contracts are great. They're good. But you gotta do stuff just to get your science. And that's really what you're doing your contracts for, so that you can afford to do your things just to do get your science. And oh, we want to see retrograde. Oh my god, that's not so great, that's not so great, that's not so great, that's not so great. But we're done our burn. We're already through the atmosphere. Thank goodness. Alright. So now we can pretty much put out our landing gear now. Oh, right now I'm talking about the orbit. Where I'm mousing over, those are the different stages of the atmosphere. So the light blue is closest to the ground and includes the ground. The darker blue is the upper atmosphere, or middle atmosphere. the very dark blue is the upper atmosphere, and then the black, I guess, is space. So right now we're in the lower atmosphere. Got our landing gear out, we've gotten our parachutes out, and we are speeding up time. Okay, and so we're not landing in the ocean, that's good. It's just nice not to land in the ocean all the time. And let's speed up time. You can see it not bad. I guess I can see it not bad right now. Hopefully you guys can too. Oh, there we go. Cool. So let's recover that vessel. And we got 150 science! Ah! Just from that little nothing mission. Just kind of a fly by the moon. Just, hey moon, what's up? We didn't even get our material study from it. Just got it from space above Kerbal. High space above Kerbal. And, yeah, there you go. Tons of science. So now we'll spend some. Well, I think we should. Then we don't have to worry about batteries anymore. Solar panel, and we can make satellites now. Oh, barometer. Barometer is so good and so important. It's that science, that precious, precious science. You guys saw how important it was there. So barometer is a perfect example of a good way to get moving forward in this tree. You get those things first, and the rest of the tree opens up a lot quicker. So, there you go. We're going to want to get into our fuel stages, I think, next. And followed by probably more rocket power. Get the skipper and the pool, I believe it's called. We can be lifting some heavier rockets that way. Yeah, barometer is going to be very good. I think we're going to be doing a run around the Space Center next time. We'll have our barometer, thermometer, material study, and goo, EVA, and crew report that we can do at all of the different buildings. Okay, guys, we'll see you back next time. I hope you enjoyed this series. This has been Kerbal Space Probe Island. I've been Omnimus. If you like the series, please click like. If you want to subscribe, please click subscribe. And we'll see you back next time. Talk to you later. Bye.